all, in the last class we have seen how to relate the multiplication of a vector by a matrix with a transformation. In this class, we will study about some important transformations geometrically. So some basic transformations are translation, dilation, reflection and rotation. We will see each one by one. So first, translation. So under translation, each point is moved a fixed distance in a given direction. So we have the column vector xy. We are adding a vector ab to it so that we have the new point x dash y dash. So xy, the image of xy is x dash y dash, where x dash y dash is x plus a, y plus b. So here AB is called the translation vector. So you can see that in this translation, there are no invariant points unless AB is 0. So if AB is not equal to 0, this column vector is not 0, then there are no translation points, and that is x cannot be equal to x dash, y cannot be equal to y dash. And hence, a non-zero translation is not 2 by 2 matrix representable. So in the last session, we said that a matrix, a translation will be representable by a 2 by 2 matrix if the 0 is the invariant point. But here you can see there are no invariant points in translation. It means that a non-zero translation is not 2 by 2 matrix representable. Now you see the figure. Here you have the first vector, our pre-images 1, 0. So 1, 0 is this point. Second point 0, 1. 0, 1 is written as a second column. And minus 1, minus 2, it is written as a third column. Now we are the vector AB which we are adding here is 2, 1. So we are adding this vector 2, 1. So when we add this, that is a translation occurs. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Then 2 plus 0, 2. 2 minus 1, 1. 0 plus 1, 1. Then 1 plus 1, 2. Minus 2 plus 1, minus 1. So we got new vector. So we are plotting the new vector here. So 3, 1. So 3, 1 is this point. 2, 2 is this point. 1 minus 1 is this point. So here we can see that this figure is just translated. Okay, so distance and areas are all preserved. The only thing is that the figure is just translated. There is no change in shape or size. So if we add only in the x coordinate, then the figure will be translated horizontally. Similarly, if we add only in the y coordinate, then the figure will be translated. There will be a vertical translation. Here we have seen both horizontal and vertical transformation. So this is an example of translation. Now the next transformation is dilation. So dilation is a transformation that produces a figure of same shape but with a different size. That is, here size is different. Either it is enlarged or it is reduced. So the figure of same shape as that of the original figure, but that is of different size. For example, you consider the point 0, 0, here 1, 0 is this point, 0, 1 is this point, and 1, 1 is this point. We are dilating this, and the transformation what we are using is T of xy equal to x comma 2y. So the x coordinates are same, y coordinates are doubled. Okay. So 0, 0 will be same as 0, 0, 1, 0 will be same as 1, 0. The image of 0, 1 under this transformation, image of 0, 1 will be 0, 2. So this is the point 0, 2. Image of 1, 1 will be 1, 2. So this is the point 1, 2. So this square becomes a rectangle. So we can say that they are of same shape, but the size is different. So here we can see that since the size are different, area and distance are not preserved here. Now next we will see the transformation, that is reflection. So under reflection, each point is mapped to its mirror image about the defined axis. The axis may be anything. We will list out some of the important reflections. The first one is reflection in the x-axis. So when you reflect in this is the x-axis, suppose you have a point xy here in the plane. So when you reflect it in the x-axis, what happens is x coordinate remains same, but this point is mapped to this point. So y becomes negative. So the new point is x comma minus y. So when you reflect the point xy in the x-axis, you will get a new point x minus y. That is under reflection, xy is mapped to x comma minus y. So this is a transformation here. T of xy equal to x comma minus y. Now we will see what is the matrix corresponding to this transformation. For this we will see how this transformation acts on the vectors 1, 0 and 0, 1. We know that 1, 0 and 0, 1 is the standard basis for R2. So we will see how this transformation acts on this basis. So 1, 0, image of 1, 0, what will be the image of 1, 0 under T? So image of 1, 0 will be same as 1, 0. Okay, because under reflection, 1, 0 is in x-axis itself. So if you reflect it along x-axis, you will get the same point. So we can say that the entire point on the x-axis are invariant point in this transformation. So here x-axis is an invariant line. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 0 is mapped to 1, 0 itself. So I have written the first column here 1, 0. Now the second element 0, 1. 0, 1 under reflection in the x-axis, it is mapped to 0, minus 1. So I have written the second column 0, minus 1. So how I got this matrix? I have written the images of the bases, that is 1, 0 and 0, 1. Image of 1, 0 is 1, 0 itself. Image of 0, 1 is 0, minus 1. So if you operate this, if you do multiplication here, again you will get x minus y. So the reflection represents the transformation T of xy equal to x minus y, and the matrix corresponding to this transformation is 1, 0, 0, minus 1. Next we will see reflection in the y-axis. So this is the y-axis. So if you have any point xy here, when you reflect it along the y-axis, you will get this point. So what happens here is x is changed to minus x and y is same. The y distance is same. So the new point has coordinates minus x comma y. So here the transformation is T of xy equal to minus x comma y. So this is a transformation here. Now we will see what is the corresponding matrix. For that we will see the images of the points 1, 0 and 0, 1. Now 1, 0 lies on x-axis. So when it is reflected in the y-axis, we will get the point minus 1, 0. So I have written the first column minus 1, 0. Now 0, 1 lies on the y-axis itself. So if you reflect it in the y-axis, you will get the same point. That is, it is an invariant point. Moreover, we can see that under this transformation, y-axis is an invariant line. So the image of 0, 1 is 0, 1 itself. So I have written the second column as 0, 1. And if you do multiplication here, you will get minus x comma y. So T of xy equal to minus x comma y is a transformation when you reflect it in the x-axis, in the y-axis. And the corresponding matrix is minus 1, 0, 0, 1. Now we will see reflection in the origin. So reflection in the origin is actually a combination of reflection in the x-axis and a reflection in the y-axis. So if you perform both, you will get reflection in the origin. For example, you have the point xy here. So if you reflect in the x-axis, what you will get? You will get the point here, that is x minus y. Now if you again reflect in the y-axis, you will get it as minus x minus y. Okay, or you can see that directly here the point xy is there, its reflection about origin. So this is a mirror image of this point. So it is minus x minus y. So reflection in the origin t of xy, here the transformation is minus x minus y. Now we will see the matrix corresponding to it. So 1 0, what is the image of 1 0? When you reflect it along about the origin, you will get the point minus 1 0. So image of 1 0 is minus 1 0. I have written it as a first column. Image of 0 1. When you reflect it about the origin, you will get the point 0 minus 1. So it is the second column. So the matrix corresponding to reflection in the origin is minus 1 0 0 minus 1. So if you want to find, if you want to reflect a point in the origin, it is enough to pre-multiply that vector by this matrix. So this is the line y equal to x. So if you reflect the point xy about the line y equal to x, you will get the point yx. That is, x and y coordinates are interchanged. So the transformation is t of xy equal to yx. And what is the matrix corresponding to this transformation? You will see the image of 1 0 and 0 1. So the image of 1 0, 1 0, when we reflect it along the line y equal to x, we will get 0 1. So 1 0 is mapped to 0 1. Similarly, 0 1 is mapped to 1 0. And hence the transformation is yx. So t of xy equal to yx represent a reflection in the line y equal to x. Now we will see the next transformation, that is rotation. So rotation is usually done through the origin, and we will consider anti-clockwise direction as the positive direction. So first we will see the rotation of the point through 90 degree about the origin. So we have the point 1 0 here. So if this point is rotated 90 degree in an anti-clockwise, so this is an anti-clockwise direction. So when you rotate it along anti-clockwise direction, you will get the point 0 1. So I have written the first column 0 1. Now next, when you rotate 0 1 again anti-clockwise through an angle of 90 degree, we will arrive at the point minus 1 0. So I have written minus 1 0. So if you multiply it with xy, we will get minus yx. It means that rotation of 90 degree corresponds to the transformation t of xy equal to minus y comma x. So if you want to rotate the vector by 90 degree, what you have to do is simply pre-multiply that vector by this matrix. The matrix is 0 minus 1 1 0. Now we will see a rotation of 180 degree. So 180 degree we will see its effects on the point 1 0 and 0 1. So if 1 0 is rotated 180 degree anti-clockwise, you will arrive at, so this is 90 and then goes on increasing, so we will arrive at this point, and the point is minus 1 0. So I have written it as the first column minus 1 0. Now when I rotate the point 0 1 anti-clockwise through 180 degree, I will arrive at the point 0 minus 1. So second column I have written 0 minus 1. When you perform multiplication here, you will get minus x minus y. So rotation of 180 degree corresponds to the transformation p of xy equal to minus x minus y. Also, if you have a vector and you have to rotate it 180 degree, you can simply pre-multiply that vector by this matrix, that is minus 1 0 0 minus 1. Now we will see some important thing about the determinant of the matrix. So if the transformation T is represented by a 2 by 2 matrix A, then the determinant of A has got a meaning. That is, its value, that is value of the determinant of A, is the scale factor of the area increased by the effect of T. So if determinant of A is negative, you have to take the modulus value. So initially there will be an area. By the effect of T, if the area has increased, then that value is given by is determinant of the matrix A. We will see an example. So say the matrix A is 1 0 0 2 and A acts on this point. What is this? This point is 0 0 2 0 2 2 0 0. It represents what? There are 4 points in R2. 0 0 2 0 2 2 0 2. So actually it represents a square. It is a square in R2. And you have under this matrix multiplication, it is transformed to 0 0 2 0 2 4 0 4, and this is actually a rectangle. Now this transformation maps this point to this point, and we will see the increase in their areas. So determinant of A is here 2, and here you have the area of square is 4, and here the area of rectangle is 8. You can see 8 is 4 into 2. So there is a relation between determinant of A, that is a matrix, and their corresponding areas. Now next we will see the rotation matrix in detail. Let P of xy be a point in the xy plane with radius r and making an angle phi with the positive x-axis. So the coordinates we have x equal to r cos phi and y equal to r sin phi. And suppose that this point P is rotated anti-clockwise about the origin, making an angle theta. So with the image of the point P is P dash with coordinates x dash y dash. Now the new coordinate x dash is equal to r cos phi plus theta and y is equal to r sin phi plus theta. Now and y dash here this is not y, it is y dash. Okay, so y dash is equal to r sin phi plus theta. Now x dash is equal to r cos phi plus theta. So this is cos of a plus b, which is cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. And r cos phi is nothing but x. So if you make this substitution, you will get x cos theta minus again r sin phi is y. So x cos theta minus y sin theta. Similarly, you write y dash is r sin phi plus theta, expand sine of a plus b, so it is sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. So you will get y dash as x sin theta plus y cos theta. So if we write both x dash and y dash in the matrix form, we will get cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta, xy equal to x dash y dash. That is x dash is equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta and y dash is equal to x sin theta plus y cos theta. So this is the matrix corresponding to rotation of the point xy to the point x dash y dash. Now if the rotation is of 90 degree, that is if theta is 90, you substitute the value theta equal to 90 here, so you will get cos 90 0, sin 90 1. So you will get the rotation matrix as 0 minus 1 1 0. So if a point is rotated 90 degree, so what we have to do is you have to just pre-multiply that point by this matrix, rotation matrix, that is 0 minus 1 1 0. And here the rotation is anti-clockwise. If the point is rotated clockwise, then you have to simply replace theta by minus theta. So the corresponding matrix will become, here we have cos of minus theta, cos theta, sine of minus theta. So we have minus sine theta. So this become positive. Here you have minus sine theta, cos theta of xy is equal to x dash y dash. So this is the corresponding matrix if the rotation is clockwise. Now we will see a problem. A plane transformation, which is rotation here, has matrix root 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2, 1 by 2, root 3 by 2. Describe the transformation geometrically. So the transformation matrix is given. We have to find out what does this matrix imply. What is the transformation done here? So if we you can see that the values are like this. Okay, so we can compare it with this matrix. So it is cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta of xy equal to x dash y dash. So if you compare, you can see that cos theta equal to root 3 by 2 and sin theta equal to 1 by 2. So theta must be 30 degree. It means that the matrix represents a rotation about origin to 30 degree anti-clockwise. Now, composition of transformation. So suppose that you have two plane transformations T1 and T2. So first the transformation T1 is applied and then to the result the next transformation T2 is applied. So we have the resultant transformation T which is defined to be T2 T1. It is a composition of T1 and T2. So first T1 is applied then T2. So we have T is equal to T2 T1. And we can also find the matrix of the resultant transformation T. For that, what we have to do is we have to simply multiply the corresponding matrices of T2 and T1. So the matrix multiplication should be compatible. So here we have to first we have to multiply the matrices of T2 and T1 correspondingly. Another problem. Let T1 denote the plane transformation rotation about origin through 90 degree clockwise. And let T2 denote reflection in the x-axis. Give the geometric description of the resultant transformation T. So here we have two transformations. First T1 is applied and then T2 is applied. We have to find the resultant transformation T, which is T2 composition T1. So what is T1 here? T1 is rotation about origin through 90 degree but clockwise. So we have to write the corresponding matrix of the clockwise transformations. So it is cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. So if xy is a point, it is transformed to the point x dash y dash. So we know that since theta is 90, put 90 degree here. So we will get T1 corresponds to the matrix 0, 1, minus 1, 0. Now what is T2? T2 is reflection in the x-axis. So reflection in the x-axis means the transformation is T of xy equal to x minus y. So the corresponding matrix is, this we have already seen. The corresponding matrix is 1, 0, 0, minus 1. Now we have to find the matrix of the resultant transformation. So T of xy equal to, so this is T2, this is T1, xy. So T equal to T2 T1. So this matrix T2 is written like this. When you simplify it here, we got it as y minus x, and further multiplication gives T of xy equal to yx. T of xy equal to yx. So what does this represent? So it represents a reflection in the line y equal to x. And the matrix corresponding to T is 0, 1, 1, 0. This is the matrix corresponding to reflection. Also, you will get this matrix by multiplying these two matrices. Okay, so T is the resultant transformation and we have also found the matrix corresponding to this transformation. So in this lecture, we studied some important transformations and their geometry. This is the basics of transformations. In your higher classes, you will study how to write matrices corresponding to a transformation relative to different bases. Also, by studying the properties of these matrices, we will get a better insight into some of the properties of the transformation. If a transformation T is invertible, then the corresponding matrix will be non-singular, and the inverse of this matrix will correspond to the transformation T inverse. So like that, there are so many interesting properties which you will explore during your higher studies. We will wind up here, so thank you very much.